Alright guys, here's a quick little list of everything we're going to need to put the grips on. I'm going to use some blue tape. I'm going to use a knife of some sort or scissors to cut the tape. We're going to need super glue. This is Trent's favorite super glue to use. Gorilla Glue, Impact Tough. And then just your average household hair dryer. I have a commercial heat gun, but Trent says that's way too powerful, and we'll stick with just your average hair dryer that you find in your house. So the list of materials is pretty I'm short on this, so let's cut over to actually doing the install of the grips. So I'll see you there. Okay guys, we got the workbench all set up, and the camera and the vise. So going over the reference photos, it looks as though to me that these grips are spaced back almost exactly the width of themselves. Trent did an amazing job scaling them, so now if you take this, and I took some blue tape and I cut it out the width of the track, and then I put the track beside it. If you look at the photos, I think it's spot on. It even covers up the hole here. So I'm going to go with this for my build. I'm going to use the same exact width as the track up against the aluminum trim, and then use that as a guide. One thing I want to say is this should be done last. These grips should be taken out, kept in the black bag, and out of sunlight until the camera is done, because there's things you have to drill and bolt together, and this still has to open up to access that. So once you put these grips on, it won't be able to open up. Another thing too is when I'm doing this tutorial, I'm going to hold this and bend it with a hair dryer. Rightfully, once you have all the greeblies on and you don't have to open this up anymore, the easy way is to just super glue it on there now, then use the heat gun to bend it over, do a little bit of super glue, and then bend it over the final way. I can't do that because my camera's not done, and I want to get this video out showing you guys how to bend the grips. So I'm going to either hold it with my thumb, and if I don't get a good enough bend, I'm going to put my mini clamp on it to hold it, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it's going to work out fine. So let me go get the hair dryer, and going to attempt it. Fingers crossed. Alright, hair dryer time. So these instructions come from Trent. This is how Trent did it himself. And what he says to me is, you don't want to be doing this close to the grips. You're going to damage them. You're going to want to be able to take the hair dryer this far away from your hand and feel a little bit of heat. That's all you need to bend these, because they're not cured. They're very soft. I mean, they're very, very soft. I wouldn't be surprised if I could bend them by myself, but we're going to follow his instructions, and let's get to it. So now I have a commercial heat gun, and I showed him it, and he's like, no, that's way too powerful. Just use your average household hair dryer. So I honestly don't know how to mute the camera, if I can find out in editing how to mute it. Oh, another thing too is the short track goes on this side. The short track goes on the side with the hole. So we're going to keep the... see if I can move this so you can see how far away I'm going to keep the hair dryer. Alright, so I'm going to put on the first setting. You can see my hand's probably 8 to 10 inches away, and I can feel some good heat. Not real hot, it's a comfortable heat. You're gonna see the tip of the hair dryer. I'm gonna bring it back a foot. I think I'm gonna take my gloves off for this. This way I can feel the heat much better. I actually have to bring it in a little bit closer. You want the grip touching this edge. See this edge here? We want it touching that. The top is not going to touch. Actually bring it in closer. I don't know if this is what. I'm applying some pretty good pressure. I'm actually in there pretty close. I wonder if I should kick it up. I'm going to kick it up and bring it further away. Especially getting to the point where it's warm on my hands. Going really good. Just hot in my hands. There we go. This is where the super glue would work really good. I want to go down low though because I don't want to apply too much pressure and ruin the actual grip. Yeah, I can't see it. I want to make sure it's just like that. Problem is it's really warm on me. This looks good right here to me. The grip isn't tacky or anything. It feels really good. I just want to get a real sharp kind of 90-degree bend in here. Oh, this is going to work good. With some glue, I think this is going to be fine. I'm about 3 inches or 4 inches away. And as you can see, my hand is taking the heat. Applying some pretty good pressure now. Let it cool. The track isn't warm at all, surprisingly. My hands are very, very warm, but the track itself, the resin, is not warm at all. Okay, so I'm at the point where I feel confident that this bend would work with glue. If my camera was finished, I could glue this here, wait 15 minutes, come back, glue this here, wait 15 minutes, and then bend this up here. Let me reposition this now, see if we can get this side. I want to make sure that this is right where it's supposed to be. Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work. It's very important. This grip is touching this little edge here. Remember, it's supposed to touch this edge. It's supposed to sit on this edge. I'm going to do this. The camera's not focusing because my hands are close to it. So that's touching the edge. That's check. I'm going to hold it here. Like I said, guys, it's much easier if you do the camera first, have all the greeblies on it, and do this last. Because you can use the super glue. Right now I got my hands holding everything together, you know, so. It's funny because this, again, I'm probably about 3 inches away. It's not, I can keep my hand there, it's not super hot at all. But it's funny that this resin doesn't change color or anything. Like when you're bending T-track with heat, it like looks like it's got a melty gloss finish to it when it's ready to bend. This stuff doesn't change color. I wonder if it's soft enough now. Yep, bends perfectly. I'll hold that there. This works freaking great, Trent. Only thing is I really got to get my ass in gear and put all these greeblies on, because once the camera is done, before you paint these, you have to cure them. So now, if you get the right way to do it, like I said, was super glue, bend it, super glue, bend it, right? You can't paint it, because if you paint it, it seals it, and the UV light will never cure these. So now that it's super glued on, take it outside, leave it in the sunlight for 10 minutes, direct sunlight, and then you can come in, it's going to be 100% cured, and then you can paint it. So that's pretty much going to be it for me. So I have it bent to the shape I need, and like I said, if my camera was done, I could glue these on and go cure it, but it's not. So I'm going to upload this video, and if you guys want, Trent showed me how to take this camera apart. It's really not hard to do, but it is hard to do until you know how to do it, if that makes any sense to you. I would have honestly never guessed how to take this thing all apart until Trent showed me. So he's gone through the whole camera. He's taken this whole thing apart. So if you guys want a tutorial video on how to take it apart, it's no problem. I can whip that up for you too. So leave a comment in below, or a comment in one of the threads, and I'll whip that up before I start putting mine together. So I hope this grip tutorial worked, helps you. I hope it does work. I hope it helps you. It works really damn good. So just with some Gorilla Glue, that's what Trent likes to use. I don't have it in arm's reach right now, but just I'll put a link in the description below. But that's all to it. Just a little bit of glue and she's good to rock and roll. Thanks again, Trent, for doing this. Really appreciate it. I was intimidated at first, but doing this, it's fairly simple. It works really good. You can tell by the timing on how long I had the hairdryer on. It doesn't take very long. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I was holding it there for 40 seconds before I bent it. So it worked out excellent. Thanks again. I hope this tutorial helped you. In the description below will be the main thread where everybody's working on them. So follow that if you have any more questions, and you all have a good night.